So this is just going to be kind of just a real short one to show you what the editor one looks like. Most of the stuff that I will show you, I will probably do in the Express. Again, if you have the app downloaded onto your phone, you could do pretty much everything on your phone, including taking your photographs, editing them, and even making the collages, which we'll get to that. But just so you can see what the Pixlr editor looks like, we click on Pixlr editor, and then now this pops up. We can create a new image, or we can open image from computer. So if we pick a photograph to edit, we see this. We can make this window at least a little bit bigger. You can zoom in right over here. You can see these like two little mountain ranges. So you can see this image is pretty small. So it's going to be pretty pixelated. But we see these tools over here on the left, and this is what, if you were to open up Photoshop, that would kind of look like. I can even just show you kind of what Photoshop would look like. But we see right here, we got our images, we got like crop tools, we got selection tools, lasso tools. We can see this. So this is Photoshop opened up, and we can see that we have tools right over here, off to the left, kind of layers palette and swatches and all that stuff to the right, maybe some options up at the top. If we were to go to File, Open, and pick a photograph, then it would look like this. So similar to this, like I said, this one is a little bit frustrating to use if you have experience with Photoshop. It's not as user-friendly as Photoshop is. Even though Photoshop is a pretty big and daunting program to learn, once you start getting it, you will see the difference, that it is just easier to do some things than maybe in this program. But we got a blur tool, a sharpen tool, red eye tool, which can take out the red eye of a portrait photograph, is usually when that would happen. We got eraser tools, paint bucket tools. We have adjustments right here. We got brightness, contrast, hue, saturation. If you wanted to invert it, stuff like that. Control Z should undo. You have filters over here that you could mess around with and stuff like that. So there's different little things that you could do here that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do in the Express. And so that's pretty much what I would show you. See right over here, we have our navigator, our layers palette, and our history. Which is somewhat similar to this over here. I do believe that this editor is modeled after an older version of Photoshop, but the principles are pretty much still the same. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you want to mess around with it, this is kind of just a general what it looks like. Mess around with the different filters, adjustments, stuff like that. Posterizing it, just little things like that. And again, if you wanted to save, so you would go File, and then you'd go Save. You'd want the JPEG format. I would push it all the way over to the right, the quality. The name, again, let's say this was for color. I would go color 1 just to make it easier, and then hit OK. And again, you would pick the area that you would want to save it in. So I would probably make another folder for the color photos, and then I would save it in there.